This is Daniel Puder. I'm with My Life, My Power from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and you're watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's GoTarryn TV show. I'm Tarryn, the traveling trainer out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's episode 466 today, and for the very first time, we're bringing on the founder of My Life, My Power, all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mr. Daniel Puder. Daniel, how are you doing out there today?
Amazing. Thank you for having me on today.
And my pleasure. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to come on here. It's great to have you on. And Daniel, I got to say, before we even start, we're going to be talking about My Life, My Power in the second half of this interview. But what I wanted to start with is, we're connected on LinkedIn, and, obviously anybody who knows who you are, you've got a ton of certifications and a lot of training. If you could please start out and tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and are you originally from Florida? I guess we could start there.
Well, I grew up in Cupertino, California. It's the home of Apple computers and a lot of tech. And I grew up as an athlete, which was amazing. I was played hockey when I was a kid. I wrestled. I played soccer. A little bit of everything, football, and it was amazing. I loved it, and it's what made my future come true.
That's awesome. Now, let's focus on your schooling, because I've looked at your credentials. You've got a lot of education under your belt. Let's take us through maybe after high school into college. What did you want to do? What did you end up doing? And what schools did you end up going to for college?
Yeah, so I went to middle college, studied at Oxford University, first semester abroad, which was amazing. I actually went to college my senior year of high school. It was a special program. I wanted to get out of high school, and then I went to Menlo and Oxford. And from there, I've done a lot of stuff with the federal agencies. Went to the ATF, DEA, and FBI civilian academies, and really a lot of hands-on stuff with psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists around the country, trainings, experiential trainings. So it's been pretty amazing to be able to see how college is a great thing, but it's not the end all be all, and the hands-on stuff was more productive for me and more just making me more of a significant, successful person in my career.
That's excellent. And again, I mentioned, you're highly decorated with a lot of different specific training. Can you take us through some of the specialized certifications that you underwent, and take us through what's really helped mold and shape you, if you could, please, to get to this point?
Yeah, when I understand where I want to go with the transformational work that we do around the world now is a lot of it is understanding people, understanding how the subconscious works, how people create value in their life, how they understand how to change what they want when they want, and then how to invoke that with emotions. And so I've trained under some of the most amazing psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, counselors, and even today we have the first experiential transformational mentorship course in the country at a university level. And it works so fast. We've had these kids for the last 4 weeks, 4 hours a week, where we invoke experiential exercises. And we get them to commit, create integrity, understand their vision, purpose, mission, and how they choose what they want in life. And we really give them the ability to understand how their brain works and how they can recreate any interpretation that they want that's been stopping them in their past, whether it being fear-based or whether it being not understanding or not feeling worthy or there's all these interpretations we make based upon our past experiences. And so I've done with the civilian academies, with the ATF, DEA, and FBI. I really want to know the law enforcement side. And then last year I got sworn into the Marine Corps League, and working, because we're working with veterans with their PTS and with them in the Veterans Court system. It's been amazing to be able to see how we create or how somebody creates a whole new possibility in their life just by the right person giving them an opportunity and really being authentic and loving so that they can have the ability to be authentic back, not be driven by fears and really open up to who they are meant to be in life.
I like that. And on that note, I have a teenage niece out in California at Camp Pendleton who just enlisted in the Marines last year. So I did not know that. Do you do, in addition to the veterans, work with current enlisted or officers, say, with the Marine Corps?
No, we don't yet.
Okay.
We have worked with some that are in there that we're helping. We were working with some men and women at Fort Hood.
Okay.
But besides that, we haven't pushed the enlisted side of it as much.
Yeah. Do you foresee that becoming a potential? And because the reason why I asked that, take my niece for example. She was 18 when she enlisted. And she was scared. She was worried. You remember like when we were teenagers, how scary that is, not knowing who we are. But is there an opportunity there for some kind of growth development with the kids that enlist in the military?
Yes, 100%. I think the military's focus is to create warriors, and we can add a lot of value to that. But where we really come in is they're very focused when they're in the military. Their challenge is when they get out of the military.
Okay.
And so if you take somebody that's been told what to do and how to do it, or their whole military life, and they're in anywhere from 4 to 10, 20 years, and then they leave the military, then what? They don't. They never. It's not. It's a completely different world.
You're absolutely right.
So they don't have a resume. A lot of the time, they go through a program called TAPS, which is, from what I've seen, it's a very challenged program. My friends have gotten out. They had a resume on a piece of paper. And what the challenge though is it's not that they don't necessarily provide the facts or provide the skills. What they don't do, the men and women getting out don't understand why they need it. So you take somebody getting out and they've been told what to do, so that's their life. So it's just that they don't know what they don't know, and that's the biggest challenge that they run up against.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'll still have to get, when we talk about the website link, I'll get that to my niece. I think that would be good for her to check that out. Let me ask you this. Yeah, it's because, Dan, you're a very multi-talented young man with so much different, unbelievable experience in many different fields. When I first found out about you, I used to be a professional wrestling fan. I used to watch WWF, WWE back in the day. And so back in around, I guess, 2004, 2005, you were the Tough Enough winner. Can you talk about a little bit about that for the folks who might not be aware of that?
Yeah, it was 10,000 people that sent in a video to start. And I was called the week I sent mine in, and they said, well, yours is the best video we've ever seen. You're hilarious. And I was frolicking frolicking riding my motorcycle. It was pretty funny. And my brother created this really cool concept of me doing some crazy stuff. And so, we just had a lot of fun with it. I was on my motorcycle. I was talking about how I remodel train stations on the weekend, and it was just, it was a lot of fun. So I think a lot of people went in and tried to cut serious promos, and they weren't really enjoying or didn't show their personality. And then I showed up with bleached blonde hair. I was 20-something years old, 24, 25, and I went through the obstacle courses. I was in shape. I really kicked butt. So they were impressed. A lot of the guys in the tryout, when they cut it down to 50 people, and then they cut it to 8, a lot of the guys went to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't handle the tryouts and the training, and I went through them like it was nothing. So really had a great experience with the WWE and with the Tough Enough competition.
Well, I know you must get asked this almost probably every interview you do, but I got to ask you just because out of curiosity, and you probably already know what I'm going to ask, but for the folks who are wrestling fans and saw the clip of SmackDown when you actually put Kurt Angle, a former Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, almost, basically tapping to you in a submission armbar, and I believe it's called the key lock. And I remember watching that actually when it happened, and I think a lot of smart people who were watching it know exactly what happened. And when the referee Jimmy Corderas got down and counted the quick 1, 2, 3, kind of saving Kurt. What's reflecting back on that now? When you look back at it, what's your thoughts on that actually turned into a shoot, and the way it went down and the way it was handled?
It was they just didn't know. I mean, UFC was at the point at that time that they weren't a big name. They weren't a big brand yet.
Right.
Right after I went Tough Enough, they had the first TV show of their Ultimate Fighter, and so it was something so new, and they just didn't understand it yet. So could they have done a lot more? For sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of potential there. That's where I left. I kind of scratched my head thinking why there was no follow-up on that. I think the potential was definitely there. For the folks also who might not know, you are an undefeated mixed martial artist also. Can you tell us how long you had been doing that and how you got into MMA? And also a follow-up question on that, did you pursue UFC?
I did. We had talks with them a few different times.
Okay.
They asked me to be on the Ultimate Fighter, and I turned them down.
Okay.
Just the contract with WWE, and to me, it didn't seem like the right contract.
Sure.
And I mean, it was $500 a week when I was making $5,000 a week. So just so there's a lot of things that I could have done. And then Dana flew me out after I got out of WWE, and we looked at the contract. I talked to him one other time, but it just wasn't the right contract for me at the right time. But I really give him a lot of I thank him a lot for offering and flying me out, and he's one of the smartest guys in the business.
Oh, yeah, must be. Absolutely. And then I know following that, you had stayed in professional wrestling, actually wrestling for New Japan. I think this is probably around 2010, 2011. And tag teaming with, is it Shinsuke Nakamura also? Can you tell us a little bit about the times that you had over there wrestling?
Yeah, it was great. Shinsuke it's funny because Shinsuke actually came to the U.S. when I was 16, 17 years old.
Oh, okay.
And trained. And so I met him way back in the day.
Wow.
So to be able to see what he, just who he was, and I knew him back in the day, and I got him ready for some fights and helped out with that. Then me going to his, hood and his country, and him helping me with pro wrestling is priceless. He's an amazing guy, great family man. And I really respect him. So I'm very thankful that I got to go over there.
Excellent. Very good. Well, let me ask you this, Dan, because now, we're transitioning from learning about, yourself and your resume. And I encourage anybody to check out Daniel Puder on his LinkedIn or on the website, which we'll plug later on for My Life, My Power. But transitioning now into My Life, My Power, and, to me, objectively looking at this, it looks like everything that you did was a stepping stone to the next level to get to the point of eventually building this company. And am I accurate in maybe saying that, or can you tell us, how did you found and create My Life, My Power?
Yeah, so I got on TMZ, and I said, I'll come to your school if you're being bullied. And so I stood up for kids who were committing suicide, that were being bullied, that had challenges in their life. And I said, I'll come to your school. And we went to a bunch of schools, and we really looked at why bullies are bullying, what was going on in the home, what was going on in the school, how do we add value to their significance and success. And we created our curriculum. It's not evidence-based. It's a university course. It's to the Department of Education professional development courses for educators. It's professional development for law enforcement. And we've done this, and we've also done it for parents around the country, where we show the adults and the students how to mentor others and create a stronger team, a stronger community environment within the school or after school or just within a city that is for the same vision and purpose to create significance rather than success. And I look at my TED Talk's going to be coming out in very shortly after this. But I talk about success is what happens to you, and significance is what happens through you. And so if you are significant as the number one thing in your life, you will be successful also. You will be more successful than if you just go after success, because you're building your team, you're building your family, your relationships, and that's the key to long-term success. And so, but most people just go after success, and that's what drives them, but then they're not necessarily significant. And so we flip that, and we're really showing adults how to talk to their kids and how to inspire and empower them to be significant over anything else.
Oh, that's very insightful. I like that. I'll have to think about that for myself. Let me ask you this, Daniel, because from research on the program, can you talk to us and walk us through what these words mean in terms of goal setting, mentoring, and character building, as well as leadership?
Yeah, so goal setting, we push a lot of vision and purpose driven stuff over goal setting. Goal setting is great. It's in the moment. And I see that people to set some goals is more of your mission. It's how do you set some goals, how do you set some tasks so you can become more successful and or significant. And so we push vision and purpose rather than like goals and feelings. Because a lot of people have this model of have, do, be. So they get what they want. They set a goal, they get it. So they have what they want now. They have this new car. They have this new job. Now they think that since they have it, they're going to be happy. And so many people are let down based upon what they have has to be number one rather than be to have. So you be who you are every day. You do it consistently towards others, and if it's you, whether you're training people, you're in shape, right? Number one, and then you go help others be in shape every day. You get not only get the satisfaction, but you get full-time career out of it, and you help other people live longer and healthier. So that's the be to have model. So we push that. So the goal setting thing we don't push as much, but it's good once you start understanding who you are. What was that? What were the other two words?
Okay, so yes, there was mentoring and character building and leadership as well.
Yeah, character building is great. I think that everybody gets to define who their character is, and we really go into that into personal branding.
Okay.
And what do you want to get out of it? And I think that there's a lot of characters that you can be or try to be. But I think a lot of people, if it doesn't align with their vision and purpose, then they're not going to be that person. Or if times get hard, they're going to change their characters to fit whatever makes sense at the time. And then the mentorship part is it's great, but most people are not trained to be a mentor. Mentoring is not as much being a teacher, it's being more of a facilitator. And a teacher is more of teaching content and information or wisdom. A mentor is more of being a facilitator, whereas helping that person create their own ideas by asking them the right questions. And the approach is called motivational interviewing. And so that's what we do, is we facilitate rather than teach. Now they create the concept, so they learn the info we want based upon how we have them talk and what we say, and how we have them ask questions, or how we ask questions and they ask a question back. And so we get them to think and create that intrinsic drive rather than most people tell people what to do or what not to do. And so if you're telling somebody what to do, you're not creating intrinsic motivation.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And so we want to create that intrinsic drive. It's like when you work with somebody and they're overweight, right? You can't just tell them to, lose weight and to stop eating stuff.
Right.
If you offer them an idea, and if you tell them just what not to do, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So if you start giving them ideas on what to do, hey, let's go to the gym 3 days a week. Let's eat these types of foods. And they start eating those, they're going to just stop eating the other stuff based on that you are feeding them the positive stuff where they're feeling good. Most people that are out of shape or that are heavier set, for instance, they're eating horrible food, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it because it makes them, it's comfort food. It makes them feel good. So is that really the challenge or the problem in their life is eating? It's probably not. It's probably something more deeply rooted. For instance, my mom used to tell me, eat all the food on your plate, and if you don't get dessert. So if you're told that 10,000 times when you're a kid, then it's in your brain that you have to eat all the food on your plate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so it's interesting how or how we take our kids out to ice cream as a treat, right? How we show that, okay, cool, ice cream is a treat. Well, anything can be a treat. A salad could be a treat, right?
There you go.
But
right.
It's not about what you're eating. It's about the time that you have with that person.
Yeah, it sounds like they're associating it wrongly, kind of in that way.
Well,
so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's right or wrong. None of this, it's we don't break it down as right or wrong. It's neutral. It's however you define it in your interpretation of what you want.
Okay.
But what we do is from my interpretation, I want my kids to be healthy. That I work with and mentor around the country. I want my parents that I work with to be healthy. But at the end of the day, are they willing to put in the time or effort? And is it really how much easier when you go to the store is it to buy food that you get to deep fry or breaded food rather than non-breaded food, right?
Right. Good analogy. Very true.
So we just give them other options and make them think, but we have to, like you as a trainer, me as a trainer, in more mindset stuff, we get to look at how do we change mindset. Because with the mindset being inspired, we can change anything about them, whether their weight, their working out, their brain activity, their schooling, grades. Anything can be changed if they're really vision and purpose driven.
Very good. I like that. That's excellent. Let me ask you this, Daniel. Speaking about the topic of cyberbullying for a second, because we know that looks like it's pretty prevalent out there in the media and in news. You hear about teen suicides and such. I wanted to ask you, how would you say social medias impact children and kids? And a second part of that question, should they even be allowed using social media, or is there an age limit you think that they should be able to be using it?
Well, I'll tell you right now that if you look at, for instance, I'll give you an example, alcohol. We have more alcohol challenges than probably any other country. And we look at alcohol as you can't drink till you're 21. But do you know how many people that are under 21 drink? And so then you look at other countries that, alcohol is not that big of a deal.
True.
And so if you really look at the social media or any of these other things, we put a priority or put it as a status that you have to do. Actually, you have to be this age to do it. And people are going to do whatever they want at the end of the day. We make murder illegal, and people still do it. So it's really, I don't think there's an age. I think it's that our parents are not loving our kids enough. They're not supporting our kids enough. They're not spending enough quality time with our kids, and our kids just have they're angry. And so if they're angry, how are they going to? If you give them a tool, whether a gun, a knife, social media, whatever it is, they're going to use it how they feel.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I don't think there should be an age necessarily. I just think that there is a duty for our parents to step up and to be loving parents to their kids that spend quality time with them.
Very well said. Yes. And let me ask you, Daniel, because again, it's just I got to commend you for everything that you're doing. But here in Atlanta, Georgia, we had the president in town a few days ago visiting, saying that Atlanta, up here where I'm at, is one of the most disturbing, highest percentage of drug problems, drug overdose, drug addiction. So he's on the agenda. I guess the current administration trying to clean that up. How does it impact, with what y'all are doing in your team? How do you guys approach drugs, and talking to children about that?
You don't have to talk about drugs to solve drugs. People are doing drugs for a reason to not feel things, to feel better about themselves, to be accepted through the peer pressure. There's all these reasons why people do drugs. And so at the end of the day, to talk about drugs doesn't solve it. Because if you tell a group of kids that are doing drugs, don't do drugs, then you're going to get the same reaction that we've had with the War on Drugs, the DARE program, and a bunch of the other programs that they just don't do it. Just say no. So what we do is we go in and we build relationships, connections, and once we're able to connect to a kid and have them open up and be able to open up, then they're going to start telling us more of what's really going on in their life. Once they tell us what's going on in their life, then we know what their challenges are, and then we can help them in whichever way we need to based upon what their challenges are.
Very good.
Most people don't spend the time on that. Most people don't really care. And most people don't know how to do it. But you have to, number one, identify it. And I'll just give you an example. Let's say a father leaves his family. If a father leaves his family, sometimes the kids say, I'm not good enough, it was my fault. And they start blaming themselves, and they take that pain on themselves. So that's their interpretation. It's not the truth. The reality is, and the truth, the facts are, is that the father left. That's it. And so once you can redefine, your reality is based upon your belief system and your interpretation. So whatever you believe is your reality.
That's powerful. That's good. That's excellent.
So somebody in the gym, same thing, right? Somebody goes to the gym and they believe that they're no good. They were bullied. They were teased. They were always told they couldn't do it.
Right.
Well, that's the belief system. So it's very interesting to be able to see how you can change your belief system based upon understanding fact versus interpretation. And that's it.
Good. Excellent. That's good. I think it sounds like you really address the source of the problem and attack it preemptively, and are able to give a total package, if you will, of being able to address that. I think that's very, very good. Let me ask you this, Daniel. Let's talk about goals for yourself and for My Life, My Power, and anything else. Can you tell us in a couple of sentences what would the short-term goals that you envision for this year in 2016 for My Life, My Power, and then what are the long-term, say, 5, 10-year goals that you envision for your company?
We want to be in every single school system in the country. The next step after this year, we have a large study that we're finishing up. And after this school year, we will be able to announce that and put it into peer-reviewed journals. Good. Then from there, we're going to go to and talk to the different K-12 tablet companies, whether Amplified, Google, or Apple, and see who really wants to create a bigger impact within the schools that they're going into. And we're going to be able to work with one or maybe multiple of them. And then from there, we're going to we have a TV show we did the pilot for this year, and we're going to be looking around and pitching it around to a few more people. So we're looking to really redesign the university setting. Bring more committed, consistent, focused students to universities, and we've already launched our university course at Nova Southeastern. And in the next week, we're talking to two more that have 18 locations. So we're working on some great things, and we're doing the corporate side of it too. And we just got our first corporate contract that's non-public, and we're going to be working with them and a few other corporations we're talking to be able to get some contracts. So it's pretty amazing.
Congratulations. You just seem like a very busy man. You're just traveling all over, and My Life, My Power is really influenced right now in a lot of different locations. And I had asked you before we went on to recording, Atlanta, Georgia, I'd love for you guys to come up here, and if there's anything I can do on my end to spread the word or help y'all, please let me know. And I think that would be great, because I think there's a big opportunity in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And also, the reason why I say that, you had mentioned the television show. There's a lot of filming. I'm sure you're already aware of different TV series and movies up where I'm at. So there might be an opportunity here, and I think that would be great. Let me ask you this, Daniel. In summary of the company and your team and everything that you've done, what do you find most rewarding? What is My Life, My Power given back to you?
Just the fulfillment of creating a new world, and I'm able to mentor, 10 or 20 kids, and those 10 or 20 kids start mentoring another, 10 or 20 kids, and it's a pass along. It's paying it forward. You start changing the whole setup of the future of this world. And with doing it in America, we're one of the wealthiest countries in this world. We get the ability to really take it to the next level and show people who we are, show people how we're loving and caring and building this, for our future. So it's growing. It's amazing. I'd love to have you a part of our team in Atlanta too, and we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, please.
And we're looking for more people that really want to make long-term change, not just do an assembly at a school. We want people that want to change the world, and it's amazing to be able to see what kind of people we have on board and how we're making this happen.
That's awesome. That is amazing, Daniel. I gotta again just say I've really enjoyed talking to you. And just very grateful for everything you're doing out there, and just keep up the wonderful, amazing work you're doing. It's time to plug some information, so now is the time for folks to grab a pen and paper. Here comes some contact information. Daniel, can you please plug the website and anything else that you want, whether it's contact information and social media presence, please?
Yeah, all of our media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagrams are either Daniel Puder or My Life, My Power.
Okay.
So if you put either one of those in anywhere, it's the same thing. And then our mylifemypower.org. And then our new project we created was the International Red Ribbon Movement.org. And that's one of our new 5-unit programs. And so anywhere, you guys can also go to danielpuder.com. Just launched my new site there, which is all about our training, consulting, coaching. So if you want to become more significant and successful in life, let me know. I'd love to be an added value to anybody out there.
Wonderful, excellent. And how about, is there a direct contact email address to reach you specifically?
Yeah. Go to dp@mylifemypower.org.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful. And again, folks, anybody else, if you want, when we fade to black here momentarily, you're going to see that information on the screen as we come to a conclusion. But I got to say, Daniel, wonderful, awesome job with everything that you and your team's doing. Like you mentioned a few minutes ago, I definitely would love to talk to you more in further detail. And you got a winning team, so anything I could do to add on to that or help y'all out, I would love to do that. So let's definitely talk, and it'll be great too to meet you in person someday and be able to shake your hand as well.
You got it. I really appreciate the time, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Daniel. My pleasure. And folks, stay tuned. Here comes Daniel's contact information on the screen right now. All right, everybody, there you have it, the interview with Mr. Daniel Puder, founder of My Life, My Power. You saw the contact information. And again, Daniel Puder right here on GoTarryn TV for the very first time, and we're definitely going to reschedule him for another interview very soon in the near future because there's a lot more things I want to talk to him about. And again, it's great to connect with him. And Daniel, if you're watching by chance, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, being here on GoTarryn TV and telling us about your fine team and all the amazing stuff that My Life, My Power is doing, not only down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but all over the nation. And as you and I talked after we were recording too, we definitely got to set some things up to get the presence and built in here in the greater Atlanta area where I'm at. Anything I could do to help out with that, for sure. I definitely want to team up with you guys. You are a winning team, as I mentioned earlier. And again, I think that there's a lot that I can use and initiate and to help empower my clients in my own personal training philosophy as I build my own brand. So please, let's definitely talk soon. And everyone else out there, be on the lookout because we're going to be definitely reconnecting. And as I mentioned, scheduling a follow-up interview with Daniel Puder back on GoTarryn TV in the very near future. In the meantime, folks, I hope everyone enjoyed that audio podcast interview as much as I did. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And please make sure, again, to check out the contact information. And after you're done checking them out, please check out the website link in addition at the bottom of the screen right there, www.gotarryn.tv, and that's where you can find all of these wonderful video blogs, always archived right there. And to be notified when the video blogs and audio podcasts are coming out, there's 3 best ways you could do that with yours truly. Please make sure to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter. And that way you'll always stay connected with yours truly, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training, who always tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Thanks so much for watching, folks. We'll see you on the next video blog.